Hey everyone, it's Scott Winterroth, and I've lost over 150 pounds. And on this channel, we talk about dieting and we talk about losing weight. We talk about exercising. We talk about all the things you need to do to sort of maintain and live a healthy lifestyle, especially if you're used to not living a healthy lifestyle. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit about what I want to avoid in 2025, more specifically with the term diet. Diet is one of those things where you get tons of crazy advice. You get all over the board from people trying to hucks, or hustle you with certain diet pills to really sound research that actually is impactful to how to lose weight and live a healthier lifestyle. And then there's all this kind of information in between. So regardless of what diet means to you or to your friends or the people who influence you, we're going to talk about 5 things I like to see sort of go away or misconceptions or just plain bad advice that I've learned over the years and disappear like your weight in 2025. Number one, probably the number one thing I like to see sort of disappear, at least from my vocabulary or my mindset in 2025, is all protein all the time. Protein is super important on your weight loss journey, whether you're doing bariatric, GLP-1, or just plain trying to do it the good old by yourself. Protein is critical, but it really is not all protein all the time. And that's sort of a misconception that I had, especially starting and growing into my weight loss journey or losing weight in my weight loss journey, is that I needed to eat 100% protein and nothing else. And I think if you're going like the bariatric route where your digestive tract is changing, there are advantages and there are times where protein is like your priority because you can't eat a lot. Like your stomach is only this big. So if you're going to eat anything, you should eat protein and prioritize protein because protein is what keeps you full. And protein is what sort of helps bring nutrients to your muscles and just helps keep your system going. But once you get past that part in your bariatric surgery, or you're on a different type of weight loss journey that doesn't require you to prioritize protein that way, I don't think you should follow the sort of strict keto program. Here's why. Foods like carbohydrates and roughage and healthy fats, like every single one of them gets a bad name by some other type of diet, right? Someone trying to sell you some type of program doesn't like this, doesn't like that, what, so on and so forth. And whatever. There may be truths, there may be lies in some of this, believe it or not. But to me, there's one thing I know, and that eating a balanced diet that has carbohydrates, healthy fats, protein and other sort of, whole wheats and stuff like that, it's actually the most effective way for me to live a healthy lifestyle. Now, granted, some foods are maybe not ideal for losing weight, especially when you're in that sort of area where you're really trying to lose weight. But keep in mind, weight loss journeys are about sustainability, and sustainability is something that really is important when it comes to maintenance mode, or in particular, just living a healthy lifestyle. I'm still trying to lose weight. Maybe not as aggressively as I was when I was 300 plus pounds, but today at 179, I still would like to lose a few pounds. So I'm still kind of watching what I'm eating, but that doesn't mean I'm not incorporating healthy carbs, healthy grains, stuff like that into my diet, fruits, vegetables, anything, things with sugar, just because I know that together, collectively, this is all creating a healthy ecosystem for my gut, for my mind, and overall for my sustainability for losing weight. Diet trend number 2, cottage cheese, the cottage cheese obsession, which this is kind of funny because I literally just ate some cottage cheese with dinner tonight. So I don't dislike cottage cheese, first and foremost. I just want to know that whenever you see these sort of viral recipes online, whether it's cottage cheese or avocados or whatever sort of quote pseudo healthy food they're trying to push to get some views to their channel, it's not always the best thing. I love cottage cheese, but I also know that cottage cheese is like a danger food for me because I can easily overeat cottage cheese. And look at the calories and nutrition count on cottage cheese, and then look at the calories and nutrition count on like ice cream. There's really not much difference other than ice cream probably has a lot more added sugars, whereas cottage cheese doesn't. But at the end of the day, it's like one step away from ice cream. So it is pretty addictive. Dairy in general is really addictive as it is. So it's also full of protein and it's full of some good things, but there's a lot of bad things in cottage cheese. And I'm not going to list them all in this video, but most importantly, there's a lot of calories in cottage cheese. And if you're trying to lose weight, you need to be deficient in your calories. So the more you eat, whatever it is, whether it's cottage cheese or spinach, if you eat too much of anything, you're going to gain weight or you're going to maintain your weight or gain. And especially if you're trying to lose, you're trying to be less calories, right? So cottage cheese, whatever cottage cheese, bagels, cottage cheese, there's all kinds of recipes are not exactly the best thing for trying to lose weight. And also, often the influencers who are creating these videos are usually at a healthy weight already, and they're not trying to lose weight. So just keep that in mind that just because you see a viral cottage cheese recipe, doesn't mean it's for a good thing for you. Diet trend number 3, something I really would like to sort of see go away in 2025 is extreme calorie deficiencies and or fasting. Now, here's the deal about fasting. I've been on and off the fasting train for years. In truth, the first time I lost weight in my 20s, I basically was following a fasting diet. I just didn't eat, right? Whether you're fasting for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, whatever, I just wasn't eating. And I did lose weight. I mean, truth be told, fasting, you do lose weight because you put yourself in a major calorie deficiency, which is ultimately the number one thing to do is lose weight. Now, that being said, what I don't like about fasting diets is that they're unsustainable and you lose nutrients. Our bodies operate on the energy that we put into it through food, right? Through food and through drinks. Hopefully with just more water or low calorie drinks, but through food and drinks. Now, that being said, fasting is one way to create a calorie deficiency, but it's not going to help your mindset. It's not going to help your gut microbiome. It's going to do a lot of things that aren't really ideal. So while fasting can be a tool in your toolbox of weight loss, I don't want to prioritize fasting as the number one way to lose weight. And I don't even think it's a good way to lose weight. Although I am going to be the first to say, you do you. If fasting works for you, go for it. But for me, looking back at the times that I tried fasting, they were really just short-term little bumps. They didn't really provide me long-term gains. And ultimately, I typically gained the weight back, if not more, after my sort of period of fasting was over. Diet trend number 4. And please don't murder me for this one. It's another keto one, but specifically the sort of keto foods at the grocery store or the diabetic friendly foods in the grocery store. Everywhere you go, to Target, to Jewel or your grocery stores, there's all this like keto food now, which is like low sugar, no sugar, alternate sugar food. And you can get keto Pop Tarts, you can get keto pancakes, you can get keto ice cream, you can get keto brownies, you can get keto cookies. The list goes on and on and on. A lot of this is found in your pharmacy aisle, right? It's actually like diabetic friendly food, whatever you want to call it. I avoid and stuff like for 2 reasons. One, again, calories in, calories out, just like the cottage cheese food. Just because you can eat it, you can eat it, doesn't mean you should eat it. There's still calories in it no matter what. Just because there isn't sugar in it, there's still calories. Number 2, it's a false sense of reality. Like, one, you're eating cookies, it's like a slippery slope. You eat that, and then you feel like you eat something else. It's not, and they're not super filling. You can eat keto Pop Tarts and still want to eat something else. And that's exactly where you don't want to be. You want to eat more filling foods, foods with healthy fats, foods with protein, foods with carbohydrates, foods with high dietary fiber to get your stomach full, to get your mind satiated. So you don't want to eat more. And I really just think those keto foods are just not good things. And I'm just avoiding them like the plague. And most importantly, I don't like the fact they're being sold as like, you deserve this, you can eat this, therefore buy it. It's just, to me, it's just not the good way to go. And something that I have a feeling we're going to see more of in the new year. And unfortunately, not less so. Additionally, the thing I don't like about these sort of keto foods is that they are often made with alternate sugars like urethral and stevia and sugar alcohols. Although I'm 100% behind stevia, I don't really like sugar alcohols because they cause gas. And the gas is something I'm trying to avoid. I get plenty of my own gas right now, and sugar alcohols is not something I need to contribute to my gas situation, right? So just be careful when you eat that stuff, that there is known studies that say that sugar alcohols contribute to bloating, that type of stuff. Be careful. That's not something you really want. One more thing about these foods is that typically when they take out stuff, and sometimes this is also like with vegan food, is that they cook it with lots of fats and oils. Like they take out the healthier stuff, or they take out the sugars and they add fat and they add oils like palm oil or coconut oil. Palm oil and coconut oil are not diet foods. Like they'll stay away from those. Those are not going to help you lose weight. So whenever you're eating, if you're eating that has lots of oils, vegetable oil, oils in general, or high fat foods, I would stay away from those if you're trying to lose weight, period. And that brings me to another one. This is diet weight loss trend number 5, get rid of in 2025 is all sugar is bad, demonizing sugar. Okay. Sugar is bad in some ways. I'm going to preface this with I don't like sugar, mainly because I am sugar sensitive now. Like I can't eat sugar because it can lead to dumping syndrome. But also, if you're diabetic or in general trying to lose weight, sugar is really not your friend. Now, that being said, not all sugars can be treated equal. And this is coming from a lot of my own personal research and reading books on the topic and journals and scientific research that some sugars, like sugars found in foods, like natural sugars, are okay to a certain extent, right? If you have an apple and it has fructose in it, that's okay because it's naturally occurring sugars that are coupled with high dietary fiber. So, generally speaking, that is a good thing. Plus, apples are packed with other vitamins and nutrition that is just generally good for your gut. Now, that being said, where sugars are bad is when they're in liquid sodas or other drinks like apple juice is not good, or when you eat something with a lot of added sugars or unnatural sugars or processed sugars or high fructose corn syrup. That's the sugars that you want to avoid, and that's not sugars you want. So, while the sort of diet trend of eating less sugar, especially added sugar, is good, what is bad is saying anything that has sugar in it, like fruit or some high whole grain breads. Like, yes, there's maybe 1 or 2 grams of sugar, natural sugars, that's okay. As long as it's part of your diet and you're working with the dietitian and they agree with you. Just be careful. Not all sugars are bad, or more specifically, not all foods are bad just because they have sugar in them. There's my 5 diet trends I like to see sort of disappear in 2025 along with your weight. But that being said, I want to sort of close this up with a couple final thoughts. Number one, what type of diet fads have you fallen into over the years? And what has worked for you and what hasn't worked for you? I'd love to know. Please leave a comment. I know for me, I've tried probably every diet in the book, and I could talk about every single one and the pros and cons. But I'm curious what's worked for you and what hasn't worked for you. Maybe eating sugars has worked for you, or maybe eating keto only or high protein only has worked for you. That's probably more likely versus the sugars. But ultimately, I'd like to learn what's working for you right now and what you think you should follow in 2025. Most importantly, all diet advice should not be treated equal. Just because someone on the internet says something doesn't mean it's true. And this goes for me too. I've done a lot of my own research. I've read some research journals. I've read a lot of health books, but that doesn't mean this information works. For me, always check your sources and be sure to always check yourself. What's working for you, what's not working for you. Because at the end of the day, you are in control of your body. And I think that that's the most important key to losing weight is that really getting mindful and growing your sustainability around losing weight and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. That being said, let's rock out in 2025. If you've got some goals you want to set and some goals you want to achieve, then please subscribe to this channel, like and comment below. I'd love to learn more about your journey and hear what works for you so we can collectively make 2025 our best year yet. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.